guy who games, maybe I don't get enough time with him.
Enough alone time?
Yeah, maybe
bit selfish?
Yeah, maybe he's addicted to his game. I'm like, okay, but worst case scenario, he's not going out.
He's not really spending
He's definitely
money.
not talking to other women.
Oh, no, yeah. Just chatting with the boys on a headset.
Yeah, exactly. He's safe in a home.
Yeah, he's at home.
If I had a partner who was every week just
addicted to gambling, a gambling addict.
Yeah, or chucking in bets every weekend.
Well, their paycheck is gone.
I would be thinking in the
I'd
future.
crack the shits.
I would be going, oh my god, well, there's another. I don't care if it's $30. There's $30 that could have gone to our future home. There's $30 that we could have actually had at Uber Eats tonight. Yeah, and I would never. I'm telling you this right now. I would never, ever, 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 ever accept an excuse where it's like, oh, let's go to this nice restaurant. Oh, babe, I don't have any money. It'd be like, we could have.
Yeah.
You could have had money. Don't you dare bring... It's Jim, it is Morokai with 2 eyes. We're back on every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 7 a.m. on Spotify and 4:30 p.m. on YouTube. How you doing, Bass?
Good, mate. And yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Back in the lab.
That's it. We're back again. Best place to be.
That's
honestly.
It. We finished our OF content, and now we're just doing the original pods.
Yeah, it's good.
The safe for work stuff.
Yeah, you could say that. You could definitely say that. You definitely won't find us on Reddit, which is good. We don't want to be on there just yet. Yeah. Oh, in saying that, I think it would be cool if one day we had a forum where you could go and sort of react to it's sort of like what KSI does.
Yeah.
It's cheap, cool. Easy content, but it's good content.
Yeah, he's just reviewing Reddit posts about your content and about you in general and just having a bit of a laugh. My God, it's a lot different from the FIFA videos you'd have to do, in real life pranks, all that stuff. Just sitting
It's just nice and easy. You just click away and all that. And you can actually edit without you even clicking. You can remove it. You can just go like bang, bang, bang. It's all there.
It is a dream.
But I don't want to talk about Reddit. I've actually come prepared with some topics, which is a bit of a rarity, I must admit. I slack in this department.
Hot diggity.
So I'm excited. I'm not going to clap because obviously the microphone's right there. But before I get into a topic, I just want to say, if you're not already following us on Instagram, be sure to check us out on Instagram. We've got some interactive stories. I'm throwing up some polls, some questions and all that. I just want to gauge some feedback. I think it'd be really fun if you guys got involved as well. It can sort of help take a direction and all that, as well as just check out the merch.
But hit any questions up too. We'll answer anything.
Exactly. And it'd be cool. Maybe if you're happy to and you're a bit confident and maybe you want to speak to us, maybe even drop us your phone number. I'm going to be honest, because we have this amazing roadcaster in front of us, and we can actually throw on the headphones and sort of have like an interview over the. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Even a therapy session if you need it.
Just open up, just chat to us.
Need a mate, we'll have a chat.
Exactly, it's grouse. But the subject that I was thinking, and I saw it especially. So the Super Bowl was on Monday.
Okay.
For those of you who are watching, and they've got a star player. The Kansas City Chiefs have a player called Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. He's a quarterback. He's pretty well renowned. Like a lot of people love him. They think this guy's amazing. He hurt his ankle at halftime to the point where like he went off. It looked like his game was over. Came back and won, and like it looked like he wasn't injured at all. A lot of people, and there was a very interesting call right towards the end of the game. I don't really understand the penalty. I don't really understand NFL, and I know you're going to be like, mate, that's really weird that you're bringing up an NFL thing without much knowledge. But what I wanted to say is I'm seeing on Twitter so many things. The refs won this game. The refs won this game. This is rigged. This is rigged. This was all part of the plan, yada, yada, yada. And I've noticed in a lot of things, a lot of sporting events that we're sort of seeing, the losers team and people in general are like, oh, it's a ref's fault. It was all part of this plan. It's rigged. It's rigged. Are sports actually rigged? Now, I know already you're giving me this look where you're like, that is stupid, that is preposterous. But we see it in boxing quite a bit, like where it's generally like depending on the country that like the fight is in, the winner is usually the host. Obviously, we had the UFC this past weekend as well.
Yep.
And all that announced coming out that Volk, is it? Sorry, I don't actually know that.
Volkanovski.
Yes, his opponent was taking this IV drip that apparently can be suspended from the fight if that is found out to be true. And so it's just an interesting thing. I just want to throw to you. Do you think their sports are rigged on the biggest stage?
Yeah, /cheating.
Yeah, /cheating.
That's what
cheating in
sport
like as well.
You're going into, well, you beat me to it with boxing. If there's any sport that's ever been rigged, it's boxing is the biggest main focus. You can see some people flop. It happens in Australia boxing a lot as well. Some of I think it's like Billy Sam Williams or someone.
Oh yeah, Sonny Bill Williams.
Yeah, and there's
the former rugby player.
Yeah,
the turn boxer.
What's the other guy?
Paul Gallen.
Paul Gallen. Yeah, they focus around him massively.
They do. They hype him up big time here in Australia.
And we had Danny Green, but I remember there was a few fights, and I didn't tune in too much, but when I did, people were taking flops. It was so clear. They're getting hit a little bit in the back of the head. Next thing you know, they're on the ground. I'm like, that's rigged. That you can't tell me otherwise. It's rigged.
That's crazy to think.
Mm-hmm. There was there's only been one instance in UFC that I've seen a fight possibly be rigged, and it's getting investigated right now because the coach was caught up in a scandal that he was betting on fighters.
Oh wow, no way.
Yeah, and his student took a kick to the body, seemed okay, but acted a bit like, oh, I'm in so much pain. But it's like, oh, no, that shouldn't have hurt you. Like, maybe it did. And then he took it again, and he had this, like, faint collapse where...
So he sort of, like, acted like a WWE wrestler, you could almost say. Yeah, wow, he, like, sold the move.
Exactly. So I'm thinking... Jeez. I really don't think on UFC there's two people that come together and, like, hey, we're fighting this weekend.
Yeah, I feel like the rivalries that you see in the UFC are so genuine. Mm-hmm. Like the press conferences, like there's genuine hate towards one another.
Yeah,
like they actually get under one another's skin. So I think that it'd be a bit rare for them to sort of be like, nah. But I think in sports such as the NFL, the World Cup we also had late last year, Argentina won that. There's a lot of controversy around like Argentina should never have won. Like, how come they weren't getting yellow, red cards to their players, but other teams were? Or it was set up for Messi to win and not Ronaldo because there's such a debate on who's the GOAT in the football soccer universe of Messi v Ronaldo. And because Messi's now won a World Cup, everyone's like, nah, Messi's the GOAT, even though Ronaldo scored more goals and stuff like that. So there's just massive controversy. But I just, if there is this secret underworld of like match fixing per se, jeez.
It's very hard to get two people that are facing each other, let alone two teams to fix a game. There's too many. You can't keep
And I feel like the betting agencies, like, there's too much money involved in bookies and betting.
Yep.
For things to be rigged. Like,
I saw a joke once on Family Guy where you had all the construction workers and everyone who worked on the Batcave.
Yes, right. Yep.
And they're like, and Batman's like, how do people know about my Batcave? And this guy's like, Batman, we had 1,000 people on this project. I know you said that none of us could talk. That's 1,000 people who know about this thing. You don't think one's going to tell their wife or friend or get drunk at a bar? It's going to happen. So match fixing with two teams, I'm like, nah, too many players in the game. It just can't make sense.
So much it costs. Granted, I know the Australian cricket team got done for match fixing. Like they scratched the cricket ball so one side would like help spin it a little bit. That was... And
is
like,
that's cheating?
Well, yeah, that's more cheating than like match fixing as such. Yeah. And they came clean, like, and all that. But it's interesting to think that like a lot of people jump to these conclusions. And I feel like a lot of these people...
Jake Paul fight a good one.
How many times... Every time he wins, they took a dive. Tommy Fury's going to take a dive. Where I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's genuine hate here, and Tommy Fury doesn't come across as a guy that would take the bag. I feel like he's got too much pride. The last name in itself holds too much value for him to take whatever money figure if Jake Paul was doing that.
Yeah. If you think there is somehow a way to fix the way Jake knocked out Tyrone Woodley...
Mate, all the training as well. Like, it's just like
there's too much that goes into it. There really is too much to go into it. I think there is a lot of cheating that goes on in sports. You see, I think fighters, a good example was TJ Dillashaw. Now, I don't know the exact specifics of it, but he was taking something that made him feel like he was the youngest he's ever felt. I think it was something to do with the blood and the oxygen in his body.
Yeah, right, okay.
So what he was taking made him breathe better, made him more
which is going to give you an edge over your opponent big time.
It was a huge edge. And so when he got caught, they looked back and they went, he was doing this for 6 fights prior. Jeez. So they thought about taking all these things away from him. I can't even
imagine the ramifications because right now in the sporting industry, the only big thing that I've sort of seen aside from the UFC fight that happened on the weekend, is just the issue with Man City. But that's not even match fixing or cheating as such. That was just they've spent way over their wages for all these seasons.
So what's the issue with Man City?
So Manchester City over the seasons from 2011 to 2020, they spent over their wage budget on transfers, so bringing players into the club and all that, and they were actually using money that technically like they didn't actually have, and it's now coming under investigation. And the ramifications of that, some people are saying that they'll get points deducted for any title that they won. They'll now have that asterisk next to it. It's a massive thing at the EPL at the moment. Like the Manchester City fans are going and watching their team play. They're booing, saying that their league is like just tarnished. It's bullshit. It's a hoax, etc., etc. Today, whilst I was scrolling on my phone, I saw that apparently one season Manchester City paid a referee 1.4 million euros. By the way, so that's doubled here in Australia. So 1.2, 2.4 million AUD to a referee. And this referee apparently refed quite a few matches for them. And the matches that he was refereeing, they were getting more corners, more free kicks. Depending on if like someone took a dive in the box, it was usually a penalty instead of it being reviewed. Even there's a basketball referee who referees my team, Boston Celtics. His wife goes for the team. Every single game that he's, like all the Celtics games that he's refereed, I think the Celtics have only lost 2 out of like the 30-odd games that he's refed.
I did see that in
Which
NBA.
Is crazy.
There was some fixing with the referees where they were working together and putting big bets on games and just calling a lot more fouls or calling
Which is ridiculous.
a lot less fouls depending who you're working for.
I feel like we, here in Australia, especially more so the betting, gambling on sports, it's such a big thing, I feel like, in Australia. Like, we had a former AFL player, current AFL player on North Melbourne, Jaden Stevenson, when he was playing for Collingwood. He was getting his mates to bet on him, being like, yeah, I'm going to kick 5 goals today. And, like, then he'd, like, get his mate to bet on his sports bet account, and, like, he'd be making money on himself. And obviously, because he's playing in the game, he can be demanding the footy, being like, yeah, like, and he like going into the game.
He might slow down.
Yeah, even like, oh, if I get 20 disposals, that's paying $3.15. Plus, if I kick 5 goals, that's $10. I'm going to chuck a cheeky 100 on me. I'm going to make sure that I get like those 25 touches, those 20 touches. It's just, it is very.
You'd have to be keeping count in your head.
Oh, you would, because that's too much effort, man.
Dude, imagine if you're at the final, maybe like 5 minutes, and you've done everything on the books. You're like, oh my god, I've won big. And then the football comes to you and you're like watching, you're like, oh my god, if I touch it, all the money's down the drain. Oh my god.
Like legit. And we see it as well because there's so many, especially again in AFL, so many players, people bet multis. Betting multis is massive here in Australia. You always hear like, oh mate, I just chucked on a quaddie or I just whatever, like all this like jargon for betting. And mate, the amount of times like a player has only kicked 2 goals instead of 3, the amount of actual like people like you and I that are then going to like their Instagram, sending them a direct, you're a fucking wanker. What the fuck? You cost me fucking $3,000. They get so much abuse. Like, it's actually ridiculous how. But I suppose when there's big money at stake.
Well, I guess anyone I ever hear about, if they're betting more, like if they're betting weekly, right? If they're betting weekly, sometimes I think that when they're doing it, and the reason they're going off is that was probably their groceries.
Oh,
that was their last payment for the week, and now they're screwed, and they're just like, fucking hell, I need someone to blame, and it's this person.
But it's just crazy. And then I think if you don't mind shifting the topic now towards sort of gambling and stuff. Crown Casino, great casino, sorry. And I don't want to generalize. No, I will. I'm going to generalize. The Asian population love the pokies, mate.
Oh, they're
on there
addicted.
24/7, reserving machines. They're like peeing at the bloody pokey machine because they don't want to get up, and they're constantly just sitting there,
at the machine.
Mate. There's some. I swear, there's an awful smell. It's either that they haven't showered or they haven't put on deodorant.
Probably showered, I would think.
But it is just ridiculous. And they are just money, like notes after notes after note. I'd hate to know how many hours they've spent inside the casino.
Yeah. Roulette, if you're, I guess, well, no, because these people are doing big money bets. I remember I went out once with a few friends and I left. They wanted to go to Crown. And it was one of those nights where I'm like, it's 2 a.m. I'm tired. If you think I'm traveling another 50 minutes in an Uber to the city to walk to Crown.
To watch yous gamble as well.
Then possibly bet my own money. And I'll only bet like 50 at Crown.
Yeah,
and if I'm doing roulette, there is a high possibility after 4 spins, my money's gone
Yep.
Okay, because bring back the dollar tables, by the way.
I couldn't agree more.
There's this aura that I was like, fuck no. So I go home, I wake up the next day, and this guy's messaged me. He has walked down to... No, that's right. He had a big night on the session, and he drove to JB Hi-Fi, which he shouldn't have done, but he drove to JB Hi-Fi at 9 a.m, bought a brand new PlayStation, a TV, and a full-on stereo set, like a full surround sound for his PlayStation. And he's not even that much of a gamer, but I think the first God of War came out, and he's like,
right.
I keep hearing some people talk about it. Why not? So he bought the whole set. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, man. So what happened was, went to the Pokies, lost about $1,000. I was so sad. But then my mate, like he was down $2,000, and he gave me his last 100, and we split it. And mate, I won like $6,000.
Yeah, and technically you won 5 because you lost the... Isn't that funny? Everyone that gambles are quite happy to be like, mate, I've won so much money on the horses, the great, whatever they're betting on. And then when you're like, yeah, but what did you start with? Oh, no, it doesn't matter what I started with because I won this. Mate, you may only be up like a couple of $100.
Yeah, and if you did the long-term math, some people, over a period of time, in 3 years, 2 years, maybe 6 months, if they're very active, might have lost $5,000. So when they have a big win, like say like $4,000, and it's massive, you're, oh, fucking hell, this dude's just won like a month's pay for some people. You go, oh, but actually... I do the math, he's lost $5,000, so he's still down $1,000.
Yeah.
And I guarantee that $4,000
straight back in
it
as well. It's ridiculous. I play the pokies like such a bitch. I'll go in with maybe $20, 50 max, because I'm always like, I'm happy to lose $50. That's a reasonable amount. If I get up, I'm the type of guy that will take my win, and then so say it's $70, I'll pocket the 20 and just play with my original 50. And if that 50 goes, then I'm like, cool, like.
Yeah,
I'm happy with that.
When I went to Queensland, I went to one of their casinos. I remember I put in $20, 140, and then I pocketed the $20 that I had, and I'm like, cool, now you're losing nothing, and I just went nuts with that 40.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care if I lose it.
It's the best way to do it.
It
all
is.
that. But I think it helps as well that I'm just not a gambler person. Like it's never been like something that's excited me. Don't get me wrong. Like if I do win money, I can turn the other way and be like, chase, like the feeling, that rush, that initial rush, like, holy shit, I've won. Like, yeah, I can do this again. When in reality, it's such like the chances of that happening again, getting a hit, or it's usually right down when you're like down to like the last 50 cents that you'll get your free spins again. So it like pulls you back in and gives you that false hope.
If I was a girl, and I'll quickly put up on YouTube the photo I took of myself last night. That
okay.
Be honest, would you fuck me?
Yeah,
that's a yes. That's yes.
Such an odd. I wasn't expecting this. The lips are, yeah.
I look like a little whore, but I look like I love it too. So I'll put that up on the YouTube. I did a bit of a face app, but anyway,
such a random. I was not expecting you to pull that out. It sort of threw me a little bit.
I was just thinking before, I've seen a TikTok where like a girl's laying on bed and her guy is going nuts over a sports bet, like the horses or something. Yeah. And they're like, oh, come on. Then they go nuts. They're like, oh, I can't believe it fucking lost. Or they're loving life because they're won.
Come on,
yeah, exactly.
Right into it, doing like the motion and everything, like they're riding the horse. You're like, what are you doing?
And I'm more of a gamer boyfriend. Like not full on addicted, but if I have spare time, I want to game.
Yep.
Like I just want to sit back, relax, and play video games. And I was like, okay, what if I was a girl and I had a boyfriend? I'm thinking the guy who games, maybe I don't get enough time with him.
Enough alone time.
Yeah, maybe
bit selfish.
Yeah, maybe he's addicted to his game. I'm like, okay, but worst case scenario, he's not going out.
He's not really spending
He's definitely
money.
not talking to other women.
Oh, no, yeah. Just chatting with the boys on a headset.
Yeah, exactly. He's safe in a home.
Yeah, he's at home.
If I had a partner who was every week just
addicted to gambling, a gambling addict.
Yeah, chucking in bets every weekend.
Well, their paycheck is gone.
I would be thinking in the
I'd
future.
crack the shits.
I would be going, oh my God, well, there's another. I don't care if it's $30. There's $30 that could have gone to our future home. There's $30 that we could have actually had at Uber Eats tonight. Yeah, and I would never, I'm telling you this right fucking now, I would never, ever, 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 ever accept an excuse where it's like, oh, let's go to this nice restaurant. Oh, babe, I don't have any money. It'd be like, we could have.
Yeah.
You could have had money. Don't you dare bring that fucking
I was
up.
about to ask you this question saying, how long would it take before you flipped? Like, would it take a substantial amount of coin? Or, like, if you started noticing, even if it was just small $5 ones, would you get to the point where you're like, babe, it's Saturday. The whole of Saturday, all I've heard is Sky Sports Racing.
Yeah, yep.
You're telling me that they're only $5 bets, but you woke up at 8. I woke up at 9. When I came out, you were sitting on the couch. I've finished God of War. Or maybe I've got some trophies or achievements. You're still holding your phone, saying, "Come on, come on, come on."
Man,
because I don't think I could last that. Like, especially if they told me the amount.
Oh, you wouldn't want to know.
But that's the thing though. They wouldn't tell you either.
Yeah. Well, with gaming,
oh, but I won this much.
You can change up your like. For example, my girlfriend, she played the game, and I'm not kidding. This was probably the hottest thing she's ever done. She got a platinum trophy for
holy shit,
Life is Strange.
Right.
Yeah. I wanted to do her there and then.
Wow. Life is strange.
But there's games like It Takes Two was Game of the Year last year where you can play with your partner and you can somehow interact. There's stupid games you can play like Monopoly or Uno. There's ways you can game together. I couldn't see a woman on this planet somehow enjoying the dog races, the horse races, wanting a certain footballer to kick a certain amount of goals over on a reoccurring schedule. No, it wouldn't happen. So I think a lot of people, and everyone's guilty of it, people can't lie, they are guilty of it. Everyone covers some of the things they don't like about someone else when when they're getting to know them. They just ignore it.
Oh, shit, yeah.
They just put up with it and they go, yeah, it's okay. Well, I really like this person, so it's fine. And then we start getting comfortable. Next thing you know, that stuff can just get brought up. So every time that happens, I'm like,
yeah,
I feel like
same
betting
time.
would be like,
betting would be a
100%.
big one.
Betting would be a big one where I'd be like, that's just money pits.
Yeah, you got to cut that shit out.
Literally money pits that I just couldn't.
And you never actually win. Like, in the sense of like, yeah, you might get a big payout, but I feel like, how rare is it when someone gets a big payout that they stop that in there?
I've seen it once where a group of mates put a ridiculous amount on one number in roulette, like so ridiculous that the chips were stacked up above head height.
Jesus.
Like as a joke, but it landed. So I think the total they won altogether was 3-point-something million. In that case, if you're drunk with your mates and then you've done like a stupid bet where maybe that lost them like 1,000 each, and that is a lot of money.
That is a lot, yeah.
But my God, the return is crazy, and people who do that probably aren't big bettors. Like if I had if you were getting married and you had a bucks night, I honestly think I would take 500 to Crown.
Oh, yeah, it's
because it's not something I do all the time. Yeah. So I'd want to be like, nah, let's
actually make a night of it. Like, let's have some fun.
I'm putting away bits and pieces because this is going to be a big night, and I've come to terms with I don't care if I lose $500.
Yeah,
that's because I'm going to enjoy myself.
I think that's a fair call. That's a very fair call.
But that's
that'd be the only time though.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And I'm not going to be doing that for everyone's bucks party. Like, you'd have to be a pretty special friend.
Do you know what? The only other time I think I would do it is if I had massive aspirations to do something that involved a big amount of wealth and my job wasn't cutting it.
So you're just taking the risk.
I'm like, fuck it, it's a massive risk.
High risk, high reward, though.
Yeah, if it's but if that would have to be like there's a time frame. Like, I need this amount of money in 6 months, and there is no other way to get it unless I keep working my ass off, and then not work my ass off, then go straight to the casino.
This reminded me of the Simpsons episode where Homer is playing poker, and I believe that he puts up Lisa's saxophone, and he loses it.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, geez, how many real life situations have people like been playing like massive poker games or anything like that, and they're just like, mate, like instead of money or chips, can I just throw in like my car keys? And then like they're so confident, they're riding this massive high, like, oh my God, like, yeah, and they just see it like just slip away. It's just one number off, or like someone else has a better hand, and you're just there like, oh.
Or you could turn to Christmas presents and you go, this was, I was going to buy my son a bike for his birthday present. And then you put in the pokies and it's all gone. You're like, holy fuck, like I actually can't get a present for him. It's a dangerous world. There should be like a limit for each person.
Yeah, definitely should.
But then again, it's your own fucking money.
Well, it is. You're going your own risk.
Yeah.
Like you make your own choices at the end of the day in your
but
life.
Don't whinge and bitch about
yeah,
it.
don't you dare put the blame on those
anyone
around
else.
you.
Yeah.
Like you've walked that life.
100%.
So
anyway, guys, that was Morokai 2 Eyes. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next one.
boom.
Boom.